September 11th, 2002. A physical therapy center in Timonium, Maryland. Johnny collapsed while working out. The golden arm, the hand that had thrown 290 touchdowns and invented the modern quarterback position, could not even grip the exercise equipment properly anymore. By the time paramedics arrived, he was gone. A heart attack. He was 69 years old. The middle three fingers on his right hand were so mangled from being broken and rebroken over 18 seasons that he had lost almost all use of them. He could not button a shirt. He could not hold a fork. The NFL had denied his disability claim 2 years earlier, saying he was not totally and permanently disabled because he was still working. Everyone knows about 1958. Everyone knows about the greatest game ever played, but they do not know what it cost him. Pittsburgh, 1933. The Mount Washington neighborhood, immigrant families surviving the Depression. Leon and Helen of Lithuanian descent, raising 4 kids. Leon ran a coal delivery business, the kind of work that destroys a man from the inside out. Johnny was 5 years old when his father died, right in front of him. Helen Unitas worked 3 jobs. Her oldest son, Leonard, 11 when his father died, took on work while going to school. The example stuck with Johnny. Commitment, work ethic, toughness, no complaining. At St. Justin's High School, Johnny played quarterback. He was 6 feet tall and weighed 145 pounds. Notre Dame would not look at him. He was too small. The University of Pittsburgh offered a scholarship, but Johnny failed the entrance exam, so he went to Louisville, a smaller program willing to take a chance. On his first day of practice at Louisville, he weighed 145 pounds. But in his first start, the 5th game of the 1951 season against St. Bonaventure, he completed 11 consecutive passes and threw 3 touchdowns. Louisville lost 22-21 on a disputed field goal, but they had found their quarterback. 4 years at Louisville. Solid numbers, 245 completions, 3,139 yards, 27 touchdowns. Not enough to impress NFL scouts. In the 1955 draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers took him in the 9th round, 102nd overall. They cut him before the season started. The head coach said he was not intelligent enough to be a quarterback. So Johnny, age 22, married with a baby coming, took a construction job driving a pile driver. On weekends, he played for the Bloomfield Rams, a semi-pro team that paid $6 a game. He would throw passes with construction dust under his fingernails, hoping someone would give him another shot. In February 1956, the Baltimore Colts called. A struggling franchise desperate for help. They offered a tryout, then a contract, $7,000. His NFL debut came in mop-up duty against Detroit. His first pass was intercepted and returned for a touchdown. 2 weeks later, starting quarterback George Shaw broke his leg. Came in. His first serious action started with an interception, returned for a touchdown, then a fumbled handoff. The Colts lost 58-27. But something about the way he stood in the pocket, calm, methodical, unfazed, caught attention. He finished 1956 with a 55.6% completion rate, a rookie record. In the final game, he threw a touchdown pass, the start of something remarkable. By 1957, he was the best quarterback in the NFL. He led the league in passing yards with 2,550, and he led in touchdown passes. The Colts finished 7-5, their first winning record. But 1958 was different. 1958 changed everything. December 28, 1958, Yankee Stadium. The NFL championship game, Baltimore Colts versus New York Giants, the first championship game broadcast nationally. 45 million Americans watching on black and white sets. Professional football ranked behind baseball, college football, even boxing. The NFL was a regional curiosity, not a cultural force. The game was sloppy. 6 fumbles, missed field goals, interceptions, but tight. The Giants took a 17-14 lead early in the 4th quarter. With 90 seconds left, the Colts got the ball on their own 14-yard line, trailing by 3, no timeouts. Johnny, wearing number 19 and those black high-top cleats, called the plays himself. 4 straight completions, 62 yards in less than 90 seconds. 3 passes to Raymond Berry, each thrown with surgical precision. The Colts reached the Giants' 13-yard line with 7 seconds remaining. Steve Mira kicked a 20-yard field goal, 17-17, overtime. The first overtime in NFL playoff history. Nobody knew exactly what the rules were. The Giants went 3 and out. The Colts took over on their own 20. Unitas led them 80 yards in 13 plays. He called every play. On the final play, fullback Alan Amache crashed through the line into the end zone. Game over. Colts 23, Giants 17. The crowd stormed the field. Commissioner Burt Bell broke down and cried, realizing he had witnessed something that would change the league forever. Professional football, in that moment, became America's game. Johnny made $17,500 that season. His winner's share for the championship was $4,718.77 for the game that saved professional football. The following year, Baltimore beat the Giants again, 31-16, threw for 264 yards and 3 touchdowns. League most valuable player. Dynasty confirmed. Then came the streak. Starting in 1956 and running through 1960, Johnny threw at least 1 touchdown pass in 47 consecutive games. A record that stood for 52 years until Drew Brees broke it in 2012. John Mackey, the Colts tight end, said, "Being in the huddle with you was like being in the huddle with God." Raymond Berry said playing with him was the best break of his career. Sid Luckman, the great Chicago Bears quarterback, put it plainly. "Johnny is the greatest quarterback ever to play the game. Better than I was, better than Sammy Baugh, better than anyone. But there is another part of the story. Football in the 1950s and the 1960s was not protected like today. Defensive linemen could head slap into the backfield. Receivers got mugged. When a defender hit a quarterback, he could hit him any way he wanted. There was no roughing the passer, just violence. Unitas got hit every game. His fingers were broken so many times they healed crooked, broke again, and healed more crooked. His knees needed replacing. He suffered a torn Achilles tendon, broken ribs, a punctured lung. It was the toll of standing in the pocket, knowing the hit was coming. In 1963, against the Bears, 2 defenders destroyed his right knee. Cartilage and ligaments were torn. He played through it. But the worst injury came in 1968, in the preseason against Dallas. A defender hit him on the elbow mid-throw. The ball went one way, the elbow went the other. The flexor and pronator muscles tore away from the bone. Team doctors treated it as torn muscles. Cortisone shots, rest. He missed most of 1968 and came back for Super Bowl III against Joe Namath. The Colts lost 16-7. The whole time, his arm was not healing right. The ligaments reattached in the wrong places. X-rays never showed the full damage. But he kept playing for 4 more seasons. He led the Colts to Super Bowl V in 1971, a 16-13 win over Dallas. He was knocked out with a rib injury, but not before throwing a 75-yard touchdown, his final championship. Then 1 season with San Diego before retiring. By retirement, held 22 NFL records. He became the template for every modern quarterback. Montana, Marino, Elway, Manning, Brady. Everyone studied. In 1969, on the NFL's 50th anniversary, he was voted the greatest quarterback of all time. Inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1979 on the first ballot. His number 19 was retired. Statues were erected. But after retirement, the body broke down. The knees were replaced. He had a quadruple bypass in 1993 after a heart attack. Around 2000, the strength in his right hand faded. The golden arm, the hand that threw for 40,239 yards and 290 touchdowns. He could not hold a hammer, could not button buttons, could not work a zipper, could not brush his teeth or hold a fork. Give him a full cup of coffee, and he could not hold it. When he played golf, he had to strap his hand to the club with Velcro, every shot, every putt. Doctors performed 5-hour surgery trying to repair it. They relocated ligaments and removed bone fragments. After surgery, the doctor said he did not know how he played the last 4 or 5 seasons with the arm in that condition. filed for disability with the NFL. The injury from 1968 had progressed, so he could not perform basic tasks. The League Retirement Board denied his claim. The NFL said he had not applied by age 55, even though his hand did not fail until he was 60. They said he was working, so he could not be totally and permanently disabled. They said he was receiving a $4,000 monthly pension, and under league rules, he could not receive both. Johnny Unitas stopped cashing his pension checks. He said he would not cash them until he decided whether he had a chance at disability. In 1991, Unitas and his wife filed for bankruptcy. They owed $3.2 million and had $1.4 million in assets. Business ventures failed. Restaurants failed. The man who built the NFL was struggling. Meanwhile, the league printed money. Television contracts were worth billions. By the 2000s, backup quarterbacks made more in a single game than Unitas made in his Hall of Fame career. When he asked for help, when he showed them his mangled hand and said he could not button a shirt, they said no. He was not considered totally and permanently disabled. They told him to look elsewhere. On September 11, 2002, Johnny went to physical therapy, trying to stay healthy, trying to work through the pain. He collapsed. He suffered a heart attack. Doctors could not resuscitate him. After his death, 56,000 fans petitioned to rename the Ravens Stadium after him. The request was denied because naming rights had already been leased to M&T Bank. Instead, they built a statue outside called Plaza. Fans touch it for luck. Peyton Manning asked to wear black cleats as a tribute. The NFL said no and threatened a $25,000 fine. In 2014, NFL.com readers voted Johnny greatest quarterback of all time. 72% over Joe Montana, the greatest quarterback of all time. But when he needed help, when injuries made it impossible to live normally, the league said no. There's a statue outside M&T Bank Stadium, bronze. Fans touch it, tell out their kids about the man who saved football. There's a display in the Hall of Fame, black high tops, number 19 jersey. Photos of 1958, the greatest game ever played, and in a cemetery in Timonium, there's a gravestone, just May 7th, 1933 to September 11th, 2002. The man who invented the modern quarterback, the man who stood in the pocket so the game could grow, the man who couldn't button his shirt by the time he died.